All right, weather update for the Christmas edition. We got dumped on. I'm in Victoria, BC. We got dumped on with about 2 feet of snow last night. It's been coming down all day, hit or miss. It kind of gets real warm out, starts to melt, then more comes down. Get hit with another little blustery breeze of snow. It's kind of awesome, actually. So, there it is. You've seen the snow. I got to get back into what I'm doing. See you on the show.
Merry Christmas to the comedian, meteorological weather report guy, Joey Only, the Caribou weather dude. Joey Only, and have a great Christmas from Frank Down.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Who do you got there, Frankie McDonald? Who do you got with you?
Hey, how you making out?
Hey, who are you? Hey, Frankie.
Okay, Joey, this is going to be a continent-wide storm. It's going to hit Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, Quebec, and Ontario. It's going to hit Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Washington, D.C., North Carolina, South Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, West Virginia, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and Tampico, Mexico, and Cancun, Mexico. It's also going to hit Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. It's going to hit Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. It's going to hit Kentucky. It's going to hit all the places in the States. It's going to hit Missouri, Arkansas. It's also going to hit Nebraska, Texas, Oklahoma, and all these places in Minnesota. This is a continent-wide storm all across North America. It's going to spring so much wind and rain in Vancouver. It's getting a lot of ice storm and a lot of rain in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Who's that with you, Frankie?
A fan of mine.
Yeah, we're
Hey, welcome to our show.
We go to him to get the exact weather.
Oh, that's what we all do. That's what we all do.
Okay,
You are tuned in to the Comedy Meteorology Report. Comedeorology here on CFR 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9 FM. We've got so much to talk about, and Frankie, he just came on board on fire because he knows exactly how much we have to talk about. It's been a crazy week. You know what's happened is it's been so cold, the internet tower in Wells froze solid. This has never happened before. The parts aren't rated for outer space as we hit into the minus 40s. We lost cell phone service for a while. The cell tower circuits froze solid, and we lost the landlines even for a while. So luckily we didn't lose power, but here we are. Finally, I'm back online and I'm trying to do a radio show with everybody. I'm Joey Only. You're tuned in. Comedy Meteorology Report, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, and it's really sucked this week indeed. Frankie, how much does the weather suck in Canada right now?
A lot. Same with the United States, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and all those places in Honduras because of climate change happening all over the world. This is world.
Okay, now when you say climate change, do you mean change of season? Because really the climate changes pretty dramatically. We just got dumped on with 2 feet of snow from like a week ago where it was actually warm.
I think what Frankie's alluding to is actually, in the past, we might have a cold air mass that sits up in the north, and through the winter it starts to grow and get bigger and bigger, and as it does, it starts to deepen and then spread out at times into the south. What I see happening more is you get a cold air mass that's actually not that big. It's quite deep, and it's doing this and moving around like crazy, shooting down south, and then you look at places in the north that should be much colder than they are, and that's cold air mass has literally slid south. And
yes,
you know, is this making any sense, Frankie? Am I kind of nailing it? This is climate change. That's why we use this word, not global warming. And so people will come on Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, and what they'll say is, "Oh, so much for global warming." And I'm like, you know what? I haven't used the term global warming. I haven't used the term global warming for 20 years. So your joke is 20 years late, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I liken it to the guy who's on the Titanic, and he's sitting there in the stern, and it's up in the air, and he says, "The ship can't be sinking. I'm 400 feet in the air," right? So you got to be able to look at the bigger picture. So what we're seeing is our average temperature is still above throughout the year what it should be, or what it has normally been, but we're getting these spikes of high and spikes of low that are coming, and then suddenly we're going to have exceedingly warm weather in a couple of days here throughout BC, where everything's going to turn to slush and Yeah, so I mean, we have what I would say is an unstable situation. Frankie, can you talk to us about how this slide of the cold weather is moving into Ontario and the United States and all the crazy things that are going to happen?
It's going to bring really bad storm all across North America. This is a continent-wide storm.
Give us all the details, Frankie. Tell us everything.
It's going to bring a lot of snow and blizzard conditions in Ontario and Wisconsin and all these places, in Minnesota and Iowa and those places. The storm is even going to hit Mexico too. High winds in Tabaco, Mexico, Cancun, Mexico, with some showers and things like this. The winds are going to be so high in Timmins, Ontario, Kapuskasey, Hearst, Ontario, going all the way to Manitoba. Trey's joining. His Zoom is updating.
Awesome. Trey Campbell, a radio man from Houston, Texas. Always love having Trey on because Trey's
That's
a beauty,
awesome.
man.
And California's getting high winds as well. There's a lot of thunderstorms and rain in Panama and in Central America. Bring a lot of thunderstorms and rain in Brazil and Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, and all these places. And Venezuela bring lots of thunderstorms and rain right now. Over in Europe, like United Kingdom, they're bringing lots of rain in UK. UK, they're bringing colder temperatures. And Scotland got storms heading for UK as well. UK is going to get a big storm after Nova Scotia. It's going to bring lots of rain, showers, and high winds in UK. All the way up to Norway, it's going to bring snow, Finland, Sweden, even high winds. It's going to hit France and parts of Germany, Denmark later on around the New Year's Eve, in Poland, Belarus, and parts of Russia. It's going to get hit hard too. In Japan, and weather as for Tokyo, Japan right now. Oh my God, in Japan, it's really cold in Japan right now. It's lots of rain and wind in southern Japan and northern Japan, bringing really strong winds in Japan as of right now. Parts of South Korea, North Korea, Vladivostok, Russia, and all these places. And Mongolia is so cold, Siberia is so cold as of right now. And temperature was much above average in Siberia this week. Major earthquake is going to hit California sometime in 2023. It's going to bring a lot of shaking. It's going to bring 7.0 greater magnitude earthquake or even 6.0 greater magnitude earthquake in California. It's going to do a lot of damage that could cause damage to buildings and things like this. Because the California lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire and it lies on the San Andreas fault line in between two tectonic plates, North American plate and Pacific plate. Once those two tectonic plates rubbing each other, once it slips, that can cause a major earthquake in California. It's going to bring a lot of damage to the state of California, including San Francisco, Los Angeles, and surrounding areas. That can do some damage to the buildings and bridges and things like this. That can knock over groceries and things like this. During the earthquake drills, you have to start doing your earthquake drills in the state of California. If you're indoors during an earthquake, go underneath the tables, go underneath the chairs. If you're outdoors, don't go inside the building during an earthquake, because the earthquake is going to happen sometime in 2023 in the state of California, especially in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and surrounding areas. It may knock out power for over tens of thousands of people in California. I want every single person in California to be prepared. Start doing your earthquake drills now. Make sure you have your medical kits, emergency kits, flashlights, candles, crank up radio, extra batteries, generators, battery operations, and bottled water ready as well. Make sure to lock your dishes in your cupboards and things like this, because the earthquake could be very bad in California sometime in 2023. If you live in California, be prepared for major earthquakes sometime in 2023. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in an earthquake. Stay safe. People in Vancouver, you can't escape from major earthquakes forever. Be prepared.
Here comes the story of the hurricane.
We have a couple cyclones going on. One is Tropical Cyclone Ellie, which is, hey, Trey's just showing up. Tropical Cyclone Ellie, which is in the Northern Territories of Australia. And that's looking like it's going to hit there in the next couple days.
In South Africa, they're bringing lots of thunderstorms in parts of South Africa, bringing lots of thunderstorms and rain in Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and in places like Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Madagascar, La Reunion, and Mauritius Islands is right now. In Australia, they're bringing lots of large high-pressure system in New Zealand and Australia right now, with some showers and things like this. Lots of rain in northern Australia, bringing some high winds in parts of northern Australia. In Sydney, Australia, it's going to get really, really, really hot in Sydney, Australia right now. Fiji Islands, New Caledonia, and Vanuatu, they're getting, in French Polynesia, they're getting lots of thunderstorms and rain. This is their rainy season right now. New Zealand's getting warmer and hotter all the time now. Thunderstorms going on in New Zealand. It's right now. Antarctica's 24-hour daylight. Up in the Arctic is 24-hour darkness. Hey, Trey, you're getting high winds in Houston right now. It's going all the way down to Cancun.
Yeah, Trey. How's winter treating you, Trey?
Hey.
Trey Campbell down there from the United States in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, it's really cold. It's 23 degrees outside right now. We're under a wind chill advisory. The wind is moving at approximately 22 miles an hour. The wind chill warning is what's making it so unbearable right now. I just took my dog out for a walk, and even he didn't want to be out there, so it's pretty bad.
So the big news is this week, Frankie. Brandon has pointed out that the blizzard warning for Huron area of Ontario isn't just I don't know if you've ever seen this before. It's calling for a crippling blizzard.
It's going to be a hurricane-like storm.
Brandon, talk to us about the crippling blizzard. Talk to us about the cold. Talk to us about Winnipeg, British Columbia. Just give us a rundown. I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Boom! There goes the dynamite. Oh, yeah. So much to talk about for this week. We started off last week with that cold Arctic air. I guess they're calling it the Polar Express coming down from the north, even though it came out of Siberia there. And we got first taste of it. We were heading up to Red Deer last weekend for our company Christmas party, which was a hoot. And we ran into quite a bit of blowing snow and some nasty road conditions over the weekend. I think I counted at least 10 vehicles in the ditch on the way up to Red Deer there. So that was a wild time for sure. And coming back as well, roads were not much better from that. That was that one little system that passed through over the weekend there. Now, as we went throughout this week, it's been bitterly cold with right now we're still bitterly cold. We are currently at minus 35 and we add in the wind chill, it feels like minus 43 at this hour. And we're going to continue to see that cold air kind of stick around for the next couple of days. I think Rolling Hills now minus 36, wind chill minus 49 as of 8 o'clock at this hour. So it's really starting to drop down once again here in the province of Alberta. And I think the coldest temperature so far this week was in Hendrickson Creek, with the temperature dropped to minus 48 degrees, the actual temperature. And wind chills well in the minus 50s. I think the coldest wind chill was 1-4 in the southeast corner, where you had wind gusts of 60 kilometers an hour, plus those temperatures around minus 36 degrees, and that produced that wind chill of minus 57 degrees earlier, just a couple of days ago, actually. So that's been the story. Then in Vancouver this week, they've had one snowstorm that moved through. That same snowstorm moved through our area a couple of days ago, but only produced some fairly light snow. But through the Okanagan and especially into Vancouver there, they had up to 30 centimeters of snow. So that really crippled the airport system there. Still a lot of flights has been delayed and canceled again today. I know one of my radio friends out of Kelowna, he saw the weather coming into Vancouver. So he decided to not go to Vancouver to fly to where he's going, and decided to go to Calgary just to find out, once he walked into the airport, that the flight broke down, or his plane broke down in that location. So his flight was canceled, even though he avoided the storm. So I thought that was kind of funny, but he's
Planes, trains, and automobiles. You just can't win sometimes.
That's right. Just can't win sometimes. So we're watching the storm system moving into the Pacific right now. It is a winter storm warning out for Metro Vancouver, extending through Vancouver Island. We're going to start seeing the snow roll in tonight, at times heavy, and that will be about 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. And then we're going to have to watch, especially Vancouver Island, for that switch over to freezing rain as we go into Friday morning, the 23rd here. And we'll have to watch also down towards Portland, Oregon, where Brian Schmidt lives there, for significant freezing rain. There's even ice storm warnings in the area as well. So that's going to be through Friday. And the snow is going to change to rain as we go through the weekend on the coastal section of BC. And eventually we're going to start seeing a bit of a warm up here in Alberta. We'll see a little bit of snow blasting through late day Friday into Saturday. And then we'll have to watch another system Saturday into Sunday. A little clipper system passing through. There's going to be a chance of freezing rain with that one, as well as some milder air moving in for Christmas time. That could be about 5 to 10 centimeters pushing through Saskatchewan. Looks like Manitoba at this time is going to stay on the cold side as we go into next week. So not as cold as what we've been dealing with, but it doesn't look like Manitoba is going to be into that warm up as we go well into next week. Now, as we move on into this weather bombogenesis thing that's going to be forming here over the Great Lakes here, we could be in for the pressure to drop at least to 24 millibars in 24 hours here. Do just that, drop to at least 964 millibars. And we're going to start some areas in the lower Great Lakes going to start off as rain, then make that transition over to snow. And there's going to be a flash freeze to go along with that. And also potential, especially along the Great Lakes off Lake Huron here, for a crippling blizzard up to 50 centimeters of snow, plus the winds gusting to 100 to 120 kilometers an hour. And it's just going to get absolutely brutal over the next couple of days there. And we also have to watch around Buffalo, New York for some heavy snow as well, with snow squalls to follow suit as that cold Arctic air moves off to the east. And then we'll also watch the fairly strong winds and rain and possibly some thunder to push through the Maritimes on Friday. And we'll have to watch for freezing rain into Newfoundland as well. So a lot of strong winds with this thing. Winds could gust up to 100 kilometers an hour across Atlantic Canada, and areas off the mouth of St. Lawrence there, just near the Gaspé area, we could be dealing with those winds to gust to 120 to 140 kilometers an hour. The Wreck House area of Newfoundland could see wind gusts up to 150 kilometers an hour with this storm as it continues to makes its sweep through the area here. So it's definitely a wild time for sure. Now, I'll share the funny story I found this week here. Out of Florida, a guy decided, well, his wife actually asked him to help with dinner, but the guy was upset about that and hit his wife with the Christmas tree. And, well, didn't end up well for him. Apparently, he got arrested for that. So that was the wild story I found this week online. All right.
Dinner in jail. It's minus 52.2 in Rabbit Kettle, Northwestern Territories. That's 52.2 Celsius in Rabbit Kettle. And it's minus 30 still in Prince George. The extreme cold warning remains. Snowfall warning is in effect now. I mean, yeah, this is quite the forecast. Really, if the lowest temperature ever was on this date was in 1964, minus 30.6. So, I mean, we could break that tonight again. So this has been some record-setting temperatures. The show is being recorded on the 22nd of December, and we'll broadcast in Prince George on C4 88.7 FM on the 24th, and then broadcast on the 26th in Winnipeg on CKUW 95.9 FM. Saturday for you, Prince George, snow, high of minus 10, low of minus 9. A mix of sun and cloud, high of minus 4 on Sunday. Flurries, low of minus 6. And then into a snowfall, high of minus 1 on Monday. Cloudy, 60% chance of flurries, low of minus 12. 60% chance of flurries again on Tuesday. High of minus 10, low of minus 11. So some seasonal weather coming temperature-wise. Wednesday, 40% chance of flurries. So that's kind of what your week looks like so far. We've just had Pete Galanko show up from Colorado, so we're going to talk to him in a minute. Trey Campbell, tell us what you've been up to lately, Radio Man.
Not a whole lot. I've been doing a lot of stand-up. That's been my main thing. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I'm not laughing yet, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was just making sure you could hear me. I've just been doing that. I've been just been working on the news, and that's it really. Not a whole lot. I'm at my mom's for the holidays. Everything's going okay for the most part.
Can you drop us some of your new you got some weather comedy to drop on us at all today, buddy? Let's hear your new licks.
One time, oh no, hold on. Thank you so much. One time it was snowing and I fell in the snow, and the snow got in my nose, and I stayed awake for like a week.
That wasn't snow, Trey.
Oh yeah.
On the way our listeners know it.
A lot of those guys running their podcast, they're ending their podcast for the holidays.
Yeah, that's what I figured. What are you doing for the holidays, Joey?
Well, nothing much really. I think what we might do next week is make a best of 2022 episode of the best of the Comedeorological report for this last year. So I really need everyone to be funnier tonight because we don't have a lot of really good material this year, but here's your chance. We got one episode to barrel down and get some real good clips for 2022. Pete Galenko, how is the weather in Colorado? Colorado, Pete, talk to us about the cold front and how it's been for you. Are you used to this at all?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I've experienced it before, though. It is godforsaken Canada cold out there. It is like it got down to negative 20 Fahrenheit last night. I was out there yesterday. I stayed inside today because yesterday it snowed. Earlier in the day there wasn't snow, though it did not get above freezing, so there wasn't like ice yesterday for the most part. It was just like dry packed snow, which was not too bad to drive in, besides some ice patches, which were somewhat terrifying. I proved Darwin wrong again. Had some guardian angels looking out for me. Did a little bit of skirt. Avoided some things. But anyway, it was freezing. Got negative 20 with the windshield. My car has a thermostat on it. Negative 6 was the lowest I got on there, but that doesn't include the windshield or the windshield. I can't pronounce that right now. So too cold. And though I drove one of Frankie's, a big fan of Frankie's yesterday. I've driven a lot of Frankie McDonald fans out here. Though some are like, oh yeah, I know who he is. But this person like really knew his Frankie stuff. So I played him Cold Like Minnesota. Frankie, you know that mix?
Wait a minute. The last Ghetto Basement podcast before Christmas was tonight. Before I went on the Joy Only Show, the last Ghetto Basement podcast, the last AGTV podcast before Christmas. AGTV done his podcast for the holidays alongside with the Ghetto Basement and all those other guys who ended their podcast before Christmas.
Well, speaking of Ghetto Basement, you know that rap remix of your thing?
Yes.
Cold Like Minnesota.
Oh, it's the host of the podcast, the Ghetto Basement. Attention, citizens in Minnesota! Blizzard! Warning! Blizzard! Warning! Real town! Dude! Slippery! Real town! People in Minnesota! Order your Chinese food! Order your pizzas! Good luck!
You're tuned in to C for 88.7 FM, CKW 95.9 FM. That's the Comedeorological report. It's the show about how much the weather sucks everywhere. We got two people from the United States. We got Brandon Hauk. He's over there in Brooks, Alberta. We got Pete Galenko down in Colorado. We got Trey Campbell in Houston, Texas. We got Frankie McDonald, who's in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And we got Imogen Cookie Bailey. That's who we got, everybody. And I think Hilding Donaldson's going to show up first timer, and we got Brian Schmidt, who's just making dinner, and he's going to show up down in Portland, Oregon. So we're going to have, a real show. And I'm hoping one of these days, Pete, someone's going to pick you up, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, Joey Only, yeah, right, I've heard of him. Isn't that the guy who Imogen Bailey's on his show, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm getting famous. Brian Schmidt is showing up.
A few thousand more years. They will come someday.
Yeah, well, I'm so famous in Canada.
Honestly, actually, months and months ago, I played your music for somebody who I think was a little bit familiar with it. So I think I might have had one that requested that specific type of genre of music, which is an unusual request. Outlaw, country, whatever. So I played with somebody I think he was aware of you.
Okay, well, look at this. Look who we got now. We got Brian Schmidt has just showed up from Portland, Oregon. Brian Schmidt, it's -5 there. It's
cold like Minnesota.
23 degrees Fahrenheit in Houston, where Trey's at. It's cold where Pete's at. How are you, Brian? Are you surviving down there?
Many of us have served long Facebook jail sentences. It's a blast, man. I mean, Yeah, we had some really high winds today, and this evening, just in the last hour, the freezing rain began. And right now, it's 7 below 0 Celsius and raining. So we're looking at a couple days of freezing rain. Just got back from the grocery store, and I'm ready to hunker down for a few days with some ice. But I
You
did
got some
not
toilet
get
paper?
I didn't get the awesome snow that Imogen got up in Victoria. She got nailed.
Oh yeah, we got a good chunk of it. Yeah.
A good chunk.
Well, we got
Yeah,
with like
this is the coldest day today in almost 9 years in Portland for the high temperature. So we haven't had an Arctic outbreak for that long. That's a record, by the way. And some people say that that's because of climate change, but that record has been reset now because right now it's really cold out, and the wind was blowing about 90 kilometers an hour most of the day today here.
I think it was a new
in
record
your house,
yesterday
Brian?
for Colorado as well, or at least in since 1960 or something.
Are your houses warm enough to handle this? Like, you got a toucan inside your house. I happen to wear one inside my house because it's not warm downstairs, but it's not cold. I'm next to the fire. I'm comfy.
Well, I keep my house at about 20 degrees Celsius. We're on natural gas here. I don't know. Since I've gotten older, I don't like cold temperatures. I wear a hat. I lose a lot of heat through my head.
We got Hilding. He's showing up, but he's got to still get his camera working and all that. So we'll talk to him in a few minutes. So yeah, Imogen, did you get like a foot of snow? What'd you get there?
we got about 2.5 feet of snow. However, we don't really have much in the way of snow plows, so the roads are just compressed ice. But we did get a nice dump of snow, which is kind of cool. Refreshing change, actually.
2 feet of snow? 2 feet of snow?
Yeah.
Is that the most you've ever seen?
No. We did get a massive snowfall at one point. I think like 30-ish years ago. That was closer to 6 feet, 7 feet. Some areas was a little more, but we don't normally get much snow in the winter at all. Normally it's a little dusting, maybe 6 inches for a day, and then it's gone. This really is a fairly tropical kind of climate that way. Like, we don't get a lot of snow ever. An inch and everything, just people freak out. The city locks down. That's it. It's a really soft population. A lot of old people. So, retirement city. So a little bit can go a long way. But we did get about 2 feet, which is kind of nice.
24 inches.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that translates to in Canadian measurements, like 60 centimeters.
The 24-inch python.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what? It's pretty simple. 30 centimeters is a foot, right? I mean, we have those rulers in school growing up.
Yeah.
So you got 60 centimeters. I am so jealous.
Yes. We did get a good amount. No one's really climbed out of their homes yet to build the snow dudes all over the place, but I have seen a couple of balconies. Mine might have a few, like 3 snowball snow dudes instead of the actual, like, roll a big ball down a hill and make a base for it kind of thing. But there's a few little, not much in the way of snow dudes yet. There's a couple roaming around, but they're not that big.
Holy, we got everybody showing up tonight. Even Joe Stover is coming over for the holiday special.
Joe's alive.
What is your favorite temperature? What is the perfect temperature?
180 degrees.
With a polar play dead. No, polar bears eat dead things.
Joe Stover.
Oh, hello.
You're upside down.
Oh, am I? Oh.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, I'm not upside down. Here I am.
You're in love. That's what's going on.
That's always going on. Hey, listen, I'm in Windsor, Ontario, and I'm trying to fly out of Toronto tomorrow. What do you think the odds are that I'm going to be able to fly to Winnipeg tomorrow evening?
I think you should hunker down.
It's not looking too good out
Winds are going to be so strong in Toronto tomorrow evening. Winds are going to be mighty strong tomorrow evening in Toronto, Wisconsin, Michigan, and all these places with blizzard conditions in Michigan tomorrow as well.
Joe, they're calling for a crippling blizzard. A crippling blizzard.
I thought it was only a winter storm watch for Toronto.
Crippling blizzard. I've never seen the words crippling blizzard in an Environment Canada statement.
That sounds really good as a person who's supposed to fly through the air tomorrow evening. So
Yeah. Good luck.
Really appreciate that, Joey.
You know, if the freezing rain doesn't get your plane, the insane, I mean, the turbulence is going to be awesome.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be terrific.
28-foot waves. That's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, those are some big waves. Let's let's not underestimate the crippling effect of this blizzard.
No, so we haven't seen you in a long time, Joe. I got to know what's been going on for the last 6 months since we've seen you.
Oh geez, well, polar bear season really kept us busy. I mean, even beluga season as well. So it's just been a crazy couple of months that since COVID restrictions have been kind of lax, we're getting our tourist season back, and so it's just been so busy. And then after that, I pretty much started this holiday trip, and yeah, I'm going to be back in Churchill in January sometime, but it's just been a whirlwind, and I sure have missed you guys.
Crippling blizzard, is that why you're laying there?
No, it's we're just packing up here because we've been in Windsor for about 10 days, and so there's just some ground level stuff we got to pick up, don't you know?
So we do. You have to introduce us now.
Well, alrighty.
We haven't met her.
Oh, hold on. There she is. That's Nicole.
Hello.
Hi, Nicole. Welcome to the show. I'm Joey only. And this is Brandon and Trey and Pete and Imogen and Frankie. And I think that's everybody. Frankie's not even here. Yes, he is. And
What about
Brian.
Hilding?
Yeah, Hilding. I don't think he can get his
Mystery
camera
Cowboy
working.
himself.
You got to get your camera working, Hilding.
Tonight, huh?
Isn't it working?
Hey,
Okay, we'll talk to Hilding in about 5 seconds. Joe, Nicole, stick around, of course, for the show. But Polar Bear season was really good.
I know that guy, Michael P. Mahone. He does Facebook ratings.
Yeah, and I didn't get any points this week. It was awful. I never get any points.
He never gives me any points ever. All right, what do you rank? Number 1 or number 2, Frankie? 3?
I don't give him any points, so that's the way it is.
That means it's going to be under Michael P. Mahone's Facebook ranking says May 1st is Mary Toy DeBell.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this real quick, Joey, before I take off and get back to packing here. Yeah, it was a busy time. It was a good time, and looking forward to being back home in a couple of weeks. But really looking forward to these adventures tomorrow of trying to fly out of Toronto Pearson International Airport at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I quickly wanted to get from the panel here. Do you think the flight will leave or not? I want to get some yays and nays. Joey only, can I start with you?
Regardless of the flight, you may not even make it to the flight.
Brandon, how?
That will be a nay for me.
Imogen,
That's
do you think, Imogen, that my girlfriend and I will be able to fly out of Toronto tomorrow evening?
Depends on how adventurous you are. How unafraid of death are you?
I think that's a no. Frankie McDonald, do you think that I will be flying out of Toronto Pearson International Airport tomorrow?
Because it was going to be so windy, there'll be powerful winds.
We're going to say that yes. I'm going to take that as a yes from Frankie.
You can't fly because it's so windy. You have to wait till Saturday.
Oh no, it's a no. We changed it to a no. Oh god.
Yeah.
It depends on how adventurous you're feeling. How unafraid of death are you? What risks are you willing to take? These are important questions. So, like for me personally, commercial flights, I have a real hard time with it. I do not like being on a commercial airliner. However, a go-kart with a propeller, oh yeah, let's just cruise around. Let's just get up in the air and fly around in bad weather. Not a problem.
Yeah, I suppose Imogen's point of view does matter because both her and I have done ground school and have some aviation meteorological training.
I've been behind the yoke a couple
there you
times.
go. So Joe Stover and Nicole crippled on the floor from blizzard conditions in Ontario. And we haven't talked to first timer ever, Hilding Donaldson, who's over in Francois Lakes,
Grassy
British Columbia.
Plains.
Grassy Plains by Francois Lakes, British Columbia. He's an old friend of mine, and he's quite a character. Hilding Donaldson, how was the cold snap for you?
Well, actually, I live in a cabin that happens to be on a warm spot in the side of the hill. My boss's house that's 200 feet away, he had minus 36 and I had minus 32. But needless to say, it's still cold. And it's been a really dry cold, which is unusual for here because usually we have terrible hoarfrost when it's cold. We had almost none until today. We had hoarfrost, but up until today we had none. And
no horse here either.
But you can watch my morning incidents on my Mystery Cowboy page on Facebook. I have a weather from my doorstep posting every morning. So
well, give us an example or two.
I don't have any copied right here, but I get up and I go outside and I read my thermometer and I just make a few comments on what's happening that morning, and maybe I mention some things that we talked about in your show the week before, and then I go about my day and I post it.
Well, you should throw them on Weather Watcher sometimes, right? Does anybody have questions for anybody? It's the Christmas special, basically, here on the Comedeorological Report. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And it's been really just plain awful.
So many people are saying hi to me.
Frankie McDonald, what do you want for Christmas?
I'm getting the new size 12 sneakers for Christmas. And guess what? So many people are saying hi to me.
They always
right
do.
now outside?
Yeah.
Well, get them on the show.
Why is Punsey Mountain the coldest spot in central BC? Why is it colder than Wells, BC? Because it's the same elevation.
It's always cold there, but also they're on that dry side of the coast mountains, right? It allows for that cold air to kind of settle in down there in a way that doesn't quite allow for it here. Is my best answer, but it's always cold in Punsey. I mean, it's crazy.
It's also worth noting that there's one crucial difference in the environment there. So both places do have similar climates, but the key difference that will be warming things up is Joey's hot ass. Just saying. Yeah, I can lip read swear words, man.
Yes, I do have a very sexy bum. It's true. And it does help sometimes with keeping me warmer, although not any time in the last year or two, really. It's I guess I'm at that age now where no one cares about my sexy bum image.
Well, apparently it's affecting the actual temperature of the township there. So just saying, y'all got something going on that's right on fire, man.
Kamloops, first time in 32 years, minus 30.3. That was last night. Okay, and here's a cool one I want to talk about. Lots of funnels on Okanagan Lake.
Yeah, those are steam devils. Yes, you get the steam, you get a little vortice there. You have the open lakes, and you get little devils show up. They happen, even especially on the Great Lakes too. In Ontario, they're pretty common, especially when, what was that?
Actually, that happened
The
different
devil, you
times
say.
on Francois Lake.
Debbie Cullis Hamilton said it hit minus 32. She's got it in Vernon there. So that was last night, minus 32. They don't usually see that temperature down there.
That's
And
too
my
cold.
buddy Reg, here he's got 49, 48 and a half below, something like that. It says, so that's outside Quesnel. That was not last night, but the night before, the morning before. So that's extreme, man. That's cold. Like you're almost going off the thermometers.
Yeah, that would burn. Like it would be so cold it would like burn your skin, right?
It does. It burns your will to live, especially.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It would
And then the
burn
best
my will to live.
It'll start freezing up. Oh boy! And then your eyelids freeze together.
Yikes.
Yeah, totally. Your beard. Anaheim Lake there hit, there's 49 below on that one. I know it hit 50 out there.
All we
So,
hear is lots about people trying to immigrate from Canada into the United States, as the climate's quite nice in Mexico. I know there's like the crime and stuff, though. If I lived in Canada and had experienced these weather conditions all the time, I think I would try to on my way into the United States.
Yeah, well, some of the time maybe, but I mean, that was hitting weather that's maybe bordering on the coldest I've ever seen. You know, if some of those thermometers were correct around town, and I've seen a lot.
I used to spend some time in the East Coast United States. And the few times I was back there, it went down to minus 40 below. The only times it ever goes to minus 40 below is when I was there. So I decided to leave.
Yeah, I lived in Vermont for a while, and that would get like 40 below out there. And that was just too cold, too cold. Colorado gets cold, but not like that cold. At one point at the dorm I was at, we would tape straws together and tape a cigarette at the end of the straw and put the cigarette through the peephole of the door so we didn't actually have to go outside because we didn't get too cold after like 20 seconds of being outside. That was way too much.
Gabriel tell us that he's on Twitter and it's too cool for us. Too cool for us. This is
no.
Stop it, Gabriel. We don't care now.
Twitter
Either
doesn't
come or don't
make
come.
Cool, Gabriel.
Got 18 minutes left, and I've got stuff to get through.
Other, of course, than the weatherman, I have been told that I look like Abraham Lincoln recently with the beard, and I want to look like Drake.
Blizzard warnings issued for parts of southern Ontario, east of Lake Huron. Winter storm warnings issued for the Greater Toronto area and most of southern Ontario. I'm GB, the weatherman. Here's your follow-up on this major winter storm. So as we start Friday, well, we will have rain to start. Now, around 7 to 10 a.m., around 8 for the Greater Toronto area. We will see the flash freeze. Temperatures dropping very significantly. And well, what that will do is, well, it will freeze all the rain and snow to the surface. Once it freezes it is there. You are not getting rid of it. So if you're traveling to work, school, wherever, watch out on those roads. Major impacts, road closures are likely. So please watch out. Now, as we head into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday overnight, and well, early Saturday morning, those winds will be the biggest story. 90 to 110 kilometers per hour inland gust, sustained winds 50 to 60 along the shores and around the lakes. I want to say 120 to 140 kilometers per hour on some models we are looking at, weather models, and we could see even 150 kilometers per hour. Sustained winds along the shores close to 100 kilometers per hour. So everywhere, a huge windstorm, power outages are going to happen. Damage likely, huge winds, stay safe, and wrap around snow. While watching how much snow is on the back end of the system, although it could be more than modeled, which means a wraparound blizzard for most of the province is certainly likely. So heavy snowfall, strong winds, flash freeze, all in the same exact day. And will we start as plain old rain to extreme weather condition. Stay safe, everybody. I am GB, the weatherman. Keep an eye on updates and watches and warnings. Stay safe. As I said, I'm GB, the weatherman.
Northern flying squirrels seen at Jamie Delp's bird feeder, and yes, that's exactly what they are. We had this argument last year. What are the things at Jamie Delp's bird feeder? And she said they were northern flying squirrels, and everyone else disagreed. And I said no, she's exactly correct. Northern flying squirrels. Yeah, they fly.
I've never seen them in this country. No.
Yeah, they're out there. They're quite shy, and they fly.
Eastern flying squirrels. How are they different from Western flying squirrels? Oh,
one of them smokes weed and one of them smokes cigarettes.
Sure
so I've got squirrels living in my attic right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Anybody ever dealt with that? Squirrels in the attic?
No,
I don't.
Yeah, I have some in mine.
Well, at least you don't have squirrels in your pants.
Well, no, but some people have a gerbil up there.
It's only Richard Gere, and it's kind of...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That dude from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Right? That guy. He was in the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, wasn't he?
A lot of stuff.
That
Some of the
guy.
temperatures from 2 days ago: minus 46.7 in Punxsutawney that day, 42 in Clinton, 41 Muncho, 40 in Fort Nelson, 37.5 Quesnel, 37 Tatlioco, 37 Burns Lake, 37 Prince George. So, yeah, that was some of the. Just to remind you how bad it was. Bad enough for northern flying squirrels to exist.
Do you think when they're landing, they're southern flying squirrels?
No. They stay. They just.
Depends which ways they're facing.
I didn't realize I was on mute that whole time. That squirrel just flew right over my head.
It depends which way they're facing. That's some good science. That's exactly the truth.
I tell you, the last time I saw squirrels fly was in New York City in 2001. Pretty crazy.
Did anybody discuss the incredible 1 hour temperature drop in the high plains of the United States yesterday morning?
I don't think we have, Brian. Elaborate.
Yeah, so, like in Cheyenne, Wyoming and Casper, Wyoming on the high plains, the temperature, well, let's see, 40 degrees Fahrenheit in an hour, but places like Cheyenne dropped 32 degrees in about 15 minutes, which is, I guess, that's about 20 degrees Celsius in 15 minutes. Go back and look at the METARs. It was like basically 6 degrees Celsius at 2 o'clock, and then it was like minus 14 an hour later. So it's fascinating. Last night I went through all the METARs in the high plains, and it was really something. Reminds me of the Spearfish, South Dakota world record, which, of course, it fell 49 degrees Fahrenheit in 2 minutes there at one time.
I remember being in Alberta, southern Alberta, and it was plus 15 when the sun rose on Sunday morning, and by the end of that day, it was 38 and wind chill. It was wind blasting about 100 kilometers an hour. It was extreme. I just couldn't believe. I don't think it dropped that fast, but through one day, it went from plus 15 on a January day to nearly minus 40. And here we have another. So here's something I've been saying to people. So what do you think of this? I mean, we don't have official records, but people have home thermometers, like Martina J. William has here. He's a faithful for Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers group. And she's got minus 49, maybe minus 50 almost on that thermometer there. I say you can't really fake cold temperature reading. Maybe if your thermometer is not calibrated correctly, you might get a bit of a reading off by a couple degrees here or there. I think the safest thing to do is to have more than one thermometer.
Exactly.
And
that's
then
what
when
I
people
have.
say, when people say, well, how can that be minus 49? Well, I got two other thermometers, and one says 48 and one says 50. And and have one in the shady side of the house always on the north side. That maybe you got to walk around to go look at, but it's over there, so you get a proper reading.
I just checked my weather app, and right now the forecast for tonight is between 0 and negative 15, which is absurd for this area. Yeah, it doesn't usually get that cold in Boulder. Boulder is compared to the mountains of Colorado, is usually more of a mild winter. This is apparently a record breaking for a certain number of years.
The whole western cone of the United States going into a real warm spell coming up next week, right?
Yeah, and I'll go into a real warm spell tomorrow. I am flying out to Mexico, Manana. I'll be in Mexico in the afternoon tomorrow.
Oh, you poor bastard. I was there for a week at Thanksgiving.
Or about
we have in Celsius temperatures in the United States right now, like minus 13 in Denver, minus 19 Celsius Omaha, 19 in Iowa City, minus 20 in St. Louis, minus 21 Fargo, 26 in Bismarck, 34 in Glasgow, Montana, 23 in Great Falls, 24 in Billings. So some extremely cold air. And then we see how this storm is warped to give us the crippling blizzard that's coming. So all the warm air feeding in on the low side of the cyclone, and all the cold air feeding into the backside of it, and that's going to produce all kinds of chaos, right, Brandon?
When you play the loop there, that will show the potential for the flash freeze to occur after the rain, especially overnight tonight into tomorrow, and then that cold Arctic air just takes right over, and I think we'll see the temperature drop for at least 2 hours from above freezing to temperatures around minus 15 degrees Celsius there. So it's going to be kind of the same scenario as what we saw in Colorado there and back through Wyoming. We're going to see that kind of temperature drop, but this time with the snow coming down and the winds whipping as well. So it's going to be quite a scenario, and you can see how that thing just bombs itself out right over Ontario and Quebec as we go through late day Friday, persisting on into Saturday as well. And then you see all that mild air pushing into the Atlantic provinces with temperatures pushing double digits on the plus side there. But there's that temperature drop right there. So that is going to be a beast of a storm. You see those isobars packed together right around it. It's just like, it's beastly, right? Right there for sure.
Hurricane-like. And 960 down Saturday morning down to the 960 millibars. I mean, this is a very low, deep storm. I mean,
sure.
Some of the strong storms we've seen this year have been in that 960 area, right? We've seen a few that were lower, but not many.
Yeah, this could be equivalent to probably Category 2, Category 3 storm here, hurricane. So that's how much power it does have. So it's going to be, and as you see there, the temperature just drops like a rock on the backside of this thing, and then you have the open lakes of the Great Lakes there, and you've got your snow squalls going here, and that's why we're going to be in for quite a crippling blizzard event for areas along Lake Huron, and we're going to have to watch Niagara Falls as well for some blizzard conditions over the next 24 to 48 hours. And that will also push into Buffalo, New York as well, with some incredible amounts of snow once again off of Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and Lake Huron over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Sunday, look at that warm-up BC's getting. Oh, man.
You're going to have to wear shorts.
Man.
Is that weather map normal, Brandon?
All right.
This has different models on it. So we got the European, and then you have the GFS at the bottom.
In general, for it to be that wide of a radius all over cold, is that normal?
Typically with these cold Arctic blasts, you get it usually happens every year. It hasn't gone as far south as the USA. Usually these types of Arctic blasts kind of weaken a little bit before they get down to the US. So but except for this one's been so powerful. It's started off in Siberia last week with temperatures in the minus 60s. And this whole Arctic air mass transitioned over through Alaska, pushed down through the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and it continues to make its trek. So that's probably one of the most powerful Arctic blasts I've seen for quite some time. So no doubt that we're dealing with some record-breaking cold temperatures all across.
The town in Siberia that hit that cold was Yakutsk, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, about minus 62 or something. Yeah.
Minus 78 Fahrenheit.
I think, Montana broke a record wind chill today, minus 74 with the wind chill there today. And that's in Fahrenheit there. Yeah.
Minus 74. Good Lord. That's like a record, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, I think it is for chill there.
Even if it isn't, it's stupid.
You definitely won't be able to feel your face after that. That's for sure.
I thought the wind chill here was bad. It's only like 9 degrees here.
No, like in Yakutsk, you could take a leak and it would turn to snow before it hits the ground.
Yeah, that I don't ever think I want to go to Yakutsk.
That's where Bolot Bashkarov is from.
It's high on Frankie's list.
Yeah, Frankie wants to move to Yakutsk, right, Frankie?
No. Did you hear about that Russia shutdown?
No, I didn't hear it. Tell us about that, Frankie.
Because of the war going on in Ukraine.
I thought it was weather related at first. Between the war, the weather, I don't know how people are supposed to survive out there.
So, Peter, you never said where you were going in Mexico.
Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for 3 nights, Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to make sure to make a pit stop at La Leche. It's a notorious and very nice restaurant there and some food trucks. Although there are so many good food trucks here in Colorado, and the grocery stores, I swear to God, it feels like I'm in Mexico in some places here.
There
Though,
won't be any crippling blizzards there, that's for sure.
oh no, oh no.
Look at this! Look at this storm, man. The
Oh,
more I
yeah.
look at it, the more I'm like just fascinated by it. Like, wow.
It's even hit Mexico and Central America.
Interestingly enough, 2 days ago, a leader in the, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but the Jalisco region is where Puerto Vallarta is. One of their cartel leaders, the brother of the top, was captured, and his nickname was Lord of the Roosters. That was just 2 days ago.
Did
What I
hear
would
about
do is
that.
talk about drug cartels on the radio before you go to Mexico. That's what I would do.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
No one watches your show anyways,
there
Joey.
was a U.S. Embassy warning for the region, the entire
Oh, you got
region. The
1,400
tourist areas are safe in general. And even some of the more unsavory places, it's like tourists not involved with stuff for the most part is.
It's already
What I've learned
7:57,
about
Frankie.
the last community drive and lift is respect is one thing, like that's important to some people, and then also people want their green chili, their paper. If you're there doing good business, then there is a drama.
We are out of time already. The show just flew by, Frankie.
Hey, my Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is Frankie McD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie MCD1. And my YouTube channel stocks will say my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best of luck to you. I'm Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Community Meteorological Weather Report. Merry Christmas to all listeners of Community Meteorological Weather Report with Joey Oli, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. And on behalf of everybody on the show, we wish you happy holidays, Merry Festivus, and all that. And I say it on behalf of everybody because I know if they said it, most of them wouldn't really mean it. So I'm going to say it on behalf of Brandon Houck, on behalf of Imogen Bailey, on behalf of Brian Schmidt, Trey Campbell, on behalf of Frankie McDonald, Hilton Bonison, Pete Galenko, Joey Only here. You've been tuned into the Comedeorological Weather Report. You can always find me on my YouTube channel, Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude. That's where the video version of the show goes. And also where we live stream the recording sessions. So if you want to come on over and leave a comment. And hey, to all you people who did leave a comment this week, thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, we've had a pretty fun show. All in all, I really enjoyed it. So thanks everybody, and thanks for another good year of. Thanks for another good year of the show. Next week we're going to have a. Next week we're going to have a 2022
highlight reel,
best of episodes.
2022 year review, go all the way back to January 2022.
Okay, everybody. Well, that's the radio show.
Bring candles,
Clip show.
represent good
Oh no!
prosperity and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a clip show.